Eddie Rodriguez, 1845, Lennon Street, Bethlehem. Yeah, I just want to comment on the guns that are being displayed by residents of this city. It's getting worse, and I'm not kidding you. And these people are taking advantage of this city, whether it be from inside people, inside residents. I really think that this is coming from the outside of the city. Downtown got incidents where they're busting over there, or 222 corridor, or Easton. They're all coming to good old Bethlehem. Huh? They think we're asleep. Store robberies are really up. Shell, gas station, 2011 Chancersville Road got held up. The Delta, 4 individuals. Radio Shack out here. Muggings, Main Street, and so on and so forth. Drug trafficking. The 5 Points is infested with drug activity. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I know the police are working extremely hard, and the Special Operations Unit, but there's something else missing here. It's the immediate contact of the general public. When you don't have that, like we all come to this meeting here, we need their contact. So again, that's why I'm here. Okay? Know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here. Because they won't come here. Couches and garbage and furniture all over this city. What's happening with the city? You know, I mean, it's not only on the south side anymore. I look all over. I don't have to be the one seeing this. I pass by a street, it's there. I pass down this one, a half a block down, it's there. Huge couches, televisions all over the place. Who's taking note of this? Who's being made accountable for all this stuff? Sidewalks, that for years, all I hear when I report something like this is simply, well, what are we going to do? We're going to cite everybody or send a letter to everybody? Well, you're doggone right. You're darn tootin'. Huh? Send a letter to those individuals, because those sidewalks are 10 times worse than what they originally were. I mean, why should a pedestrian have to walk on a sidewalk, you know, and have to break his leg? Me, I got a bum knee. And talking about bum knees, I mentioned what is being done about Monocacy Creek. It's not only one section of Monocacy Creek by Ellis Mill, it's all over that whole entire Monocacy Creek. I'm thankful to Karen Dolan that somehow she got something done, but that's not enough. Those boulders got to get out of there. It's a danger zone down there. You got potholes. I just told Mike Calcutt today about West Garrison, the possibility of something happening there. I don't have to go into that. Mike knows. Why do I got to see this? That's why we got people in the city and this administration, you know, to do their job. I'm not blaming them. I said, do a better job. That's what it's all about. Somebody needs to be made accountable. Wake up, daggone it, and do what you're supposed to do. And when I look at yous, it's not yous. I'm talking to this city. Wake up. You know, these people are taking over our town. And I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. I'm really furious inside that this is allowed to happen in our city. But I'm only one individual that can stand here and talk for these people, because they're desperately afraid. I got belted once, I won't be belted again. I come back and I stand up and I fight again, because that's the way it's going to happen. I got a good belting in my lip, but I come back. And I'm going to make it worse for that individual, or those individuals that are coming to this city to do whatever the hell they want, and that's not going to happen. And for those approaching this city, we got to step up on this. And I'm asking Stuart Bennett to do the job that he's still doing, and a better one yet. Because he's doing one, I told him tonight, because I respect that man. Now we need to make every police officer on that needs to be on duty on that street. Never mind paying attention to where you're not supposed to. Get on the doggone job and do what you're supposed to do. More tickets, more stopping, more alertness on who's eating the stop signs. And regarding Elizabeth Avenue and Liberty, those kids, are deliberately crossing that street. They've been for years.
Thank you.
Dean Brook, 555 Spring Street. That's a tough act to follow. Did you take notice, you're talking about the streets, the crossings and all? I go over Elizabeth Avenue, and I like what Moravian did to their crosswalk from the parking lot. We got lights there. I don't see anybody patrolling it, but the people respect it. Now, you're always going to have the guy that, gee, what did they put that there for? It was pretty, and it's not even Christmas yet. But this is something that maybe something could be done by Liberty High School. The other thing is, what they should do is have an officer not only in the school, but at dismissal time outside. Because these kids have crosswalks. The problem is, they're gathering. You don't know if you're supposed to stop to let them cross, or if you just gotta wait 2 minutes for their conversation to be over. And maybe somebody can say to them, you know, years ago when I was a kid, I had a patrol badge and all of this stuff. The children themselves patrolled. Isn't even an officer. They gave the responsibility to the child. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, use a little bit of common sense from the old days. There's not always good brand new day things thinking that makes the point to the evidence that is something that should be done. Just follow the old rules. Now, I drive the city often, and I come to intersections, and I stop with my light when it's red. But I also have to stop on a green light, because the people that's going walking across the street, they don't care. They figure, we got a law, the pedestrian's right, but the light's in favor for me, and the light is also a light that they should obey, their own crossing light. Now, some places, particularly where you have elderly living, they should make the traffic light a little bit longer. Because down on Main Street, you often see them, they want to cross the street, and you gotta wait for them because they don't go running every day. They hobble across, and their concerned thing to do for the people is stop. What I get a charge out of mostly is a lot of drivers don't know where the front of their car is. They have that white line, and they think that's where the driver's supposed to sit. And everybody else got to walk all the way around the car because they're not where they're supposed to be. Now, maybe they intended to jump the light, I don't know. And the right turn business, stop and go. You can turn right on red. Boy, you won't see them slowing down. There's no such a thing as, I don't have time. I got a half an hour for lunch break, and I got 3 things to do. So, have fun with everything in the future, with all the things that I listened to tonight. But it sounds like I got a good one for Silvex Road. I'll bring it next time. It's something that was made up with like the history of whatever, everything. I had no idea what was coming up tonight. I didn't read my information well enough. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you. Al?
Al Bernitas, 1004 Johnston Drive. I just wanted to make sure I got up here before Mary. Mary didn't hear me. I hope she comes up tonight and caps the whole meeting off. Just a couple of comments. Typically I get up here and talk about zoning. I'm going to talk about zoning. Bob Benninger said that he adopted a few committees here. I think I adopted the zoning board to their chagrin. I think we're making a little bit of progress. Before I talk about something that's really irritated me, we're making some progress on a 3-vote situation. I know we are, because I spoke to a few people, and I think we're going to end up having 3 votes on the zoning hearing board to get things through there. So that's very good. Dana Group talked about communicating via the website. And I mentioned months ago, and I didn't mention it again, but since he brought it up, I'll bring it up again. I think it would be a terrific idea to have a little box on the website that says, you know, sign up for an email list, so the city could send out things that, for people who want to hear. And I would personally volunteer my time. I know the zoning hearing board would not want me to volunteer my time with them, but I would personally volunteer my time to help the city develop something on that website. I mean, I've done it on a couple of websites. Very simple. Sign up here, get an email in there, you develop a list, and you can communicate all day long with the citizens who want to hear it. I'd like to see that. I'd also like to make another positive comment. I called Mike Alcohol last week, and he was very responsive to my issues. And I know that I'm a thorn in some people's side, but Mike was very responsive about trucks on Johnson Drive, speed limits on Johnson Drive, calming traffic on Johnson Drive, and he's going to do a little bit of a speed study up there. When? Shortly, you know, when we fit the work in, but it's going to happen. So I really appreciate that very much. Now, just to give the council a little update on zoning, we were to have on the 10th of this month a hearing. I think everybody's aware of that. And then Officer Nye's situation came up and it got continued to the 10th. So that meant that Mr. Spadoni could not participate in the zoning hearing board meeting, which is critical to us because Mr. Spadoni represents council. Council support us and intervene on our behalf with the zoning hearing board. And we appreciate council's response, and we need you folks to support us in what we're doing and letting us voice our opinions at the zoning hearing board. So I spoke with Mr. Spadoni yesterday and today, and he requested a continuance of the zoning hearing meeting from the 10th to another date. And then our attorney, Mr. Backenstow, wrote a letter to Mr. Spadoni indicating the days that he could be available, and Mr. Thompson turned it down. And Mr. Thompson is the solicitor for the zoning hearing board. I'm getting very tired of Mr. Thompson running the zoning hearing board. He is the titular chairman of that board. Mr. Lupus and the board, I think, I'm coming to the conclusion after watching a year's worth of meetings that the members of the zoning hearing board themselves are not really the problem. They're citizens of the city. I think they're trying to do the best they can. I think Mr. Lupus recently has gone out of his way to encourage people to speak at the zoning hearing board meeting, both the appellants and the objectors. And I think that's excellent. He's made that kind of progress. Although the other night they did do a little more spot zoning. And I get the funny feeling that zoning is falls under the bailiwick of the council to make legislative acts and where zoning falls, okay? Some of the decisions are based on the zoning that's going to happen. I mean, I sat in a zoning meeting the other night and they're making decisions based on a future zoning ordinance, not the existing zoning ordinance. Now, if you went to court and some developer or somebody wanted to do something, they would say, well, what's the existing zoning ordinance? Because that's what applies, not the future zoning ordinance. But in this particular meeting, they spot zoned based on the future zoning ordinance. The only good thing about it was, to be fair, it wasn't a terrifically egregious spot zoning because it didn't infringe on a residential neighborhood. It was a zone, an allowed use in a zone that didn't allow that permitted use. But we've had other spot zonings in the past, and so that's a little bit concerning to me. So I mentioned Mr. Lupus and progress on letting folks talk. I mentioned the spot zoning. There's also a little philosophy with some folks. The mafia has a code of silence called omerta. I think Mr. Lazoch practices that. And I think things are not aired out properly in the zoning hearing board meeting. And I specifically state that by name because I've listened to this for a year now. My time's up. I have more to say, and I'll save it for the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? No. This meeting's adjourned.